A brand new Nuzlocke series called the TypeLocke. So let's get the credits rolling. We'll see how it all goes. Hello Dragon, welcome in. How are you today? I've decided I'm going to go ahead and try this TypeLocke. Why not? I've got the wheel ready. What we're going to do is we'll spin the wheel and that'll help decide our starter. You still have not found your Sprigatito. Or have you got one at least? Just need to see how loud this is. Okay, not too bad. I get very sick of the music in this game. That is crazy. You did use like a foreign ditto, right? Or non-English language ditto. That probably changes the odds again, doesn't it? If I'm not mistaken. Okay. Then I don't see what's happening really. It's just a case of bad luck. Knowing your luck, you'll get one and you'll get one within the next couple straight after. But we mentioned this, so each gym of the 18 in this game will have a different type that I must use. It is also Nuzlocke rules, so I can only catch one from each area. The only difference is I can pick what I'm going to catch. So I have to start thinking that I really want to try and do dual typing Pokemon. It would be a bit naive if I went for just one type, like normal. So Lechonk is a static encounter, for example. So I will have to have a Lechonk, but there's no point me getting a Yang Goose. So that's the sort of concept behind this. I thought it would be better to spin the wheel at the beginning, because then I know what I need for the first gym. I'm also going to use strict level caps of the gym leader only, and or star, or whichever you know, the basics. So we will have our strict level caps. Yeah, and that's it. The other thing is, if I got Ghost, for example, for the first gym, I would be allowed to use the free Cocoa because it will become a Ghost type. That's the reason why I'm doing it at the beginning. I got 6 potential typings to help my starter choice. I probably will still end up going free Cocoa. I feel like that's going to be the most sensible one of all of the starters. There is arguments for all of them. There aren't too many fighting types, so Quick Quaffle could be helpful. There aren't many dark types, so Miles Masquerado would be good. But when it comes to just grass and water, they're a bit pointless. There's a lot to get. So that's why we're going to do it this way. We're only going to do one gym at a time, but we do have access to Kitakami. So we can head over to Kitakami pretty early on. As we know, the first level cap is 15, and from when I did a Soul Link, I've managed to record, and I went round and sort of recorded all the level caps for each area. So theoretically, at the beginning of the game, we get South Area 1, 2 and 3, the Inlet Grotto, the Pokemon League, Poco Pass and the starter. We don't touch the east or the north. We could have a nose around West 1, but it's a bit risky because they can go up to level 20. But then we also have Kitakami Road, Oni Mountain, Revelers Road, Oni Mew, Apple Hills, and that's it actually, that's it. So there is quite a lot of early game encounters. So I can start getting a few different Pokemon. I will also include a shiny claws. If I get one, I keep it. Is this? Nope, not bad. So first of all, you make me walk all the way downstairs. I should know this. I've done this a lot. Options. We want to look at the sound a little bit. Like, we don't need it too loud. that was the main thing we had to get done. Don't really want that on. What else is here? We will probably nickname them a mixture of suggestions from the chat and after the chat, maybe. I'm usually terrible at picking nicknames. I had to go through some of my saves earlier to see which one I could delete, and this one was one of the previous mentioned TypeLocks I used to do, but haven't done in a long time. You're in the kitchen, aren't you? I always forget where the mother is hiding in this game. But it depends if we get free cocoa. I'm going to get through all of this tutorial stuff. Let's see, I also have to do a little bit of thinking because I do not think ice is an option. Sadly. Because, well, I don't think I can catch an ice type very early on. I'm really skeptical whether it's possible, so I've got to be very... I will have to probably re-roll the ice types. I think at best I can get a swine up in the cave, but I'm not sure I can get much else, because I can't swim until I've beaten the bombardier, which is level 20. So then I could go and get myself like a shelter, as an example. So yeah, I've got to be a bit cautious with what I'm picking early on. I want to try and get a nice variety. The Pokemon League is probably... yeah, it's probably the best for me. Purely because there's only 3 Pokemon there. 2 of them are solo types. So in that area you've got Jiggly, maybe Igglybuff, Fido and Tandemaus. So Tandemaus and Fido are not gonna be helpful for this challenge. Jigglypuff will be because of its dual typing. Right, now I've got to go and get my bag. Yeah, so I was just saying I probably will have to re-roll ice. I think that's the only one I have to re-roll for a while, because I don't know the lowest level I can catch an ice type. I have a bit of an encounter guide, but I'm pretty sure you can't really get much ice types till you're like level mid-20s. It's just gonna be a problem. It depends if I actually want to include Terror Rage just for an extra couple of encounters, but it does feel like a little bit of cheating because it's just stacking encounters. But we'll see. If we get ice, we probably will. What I usually do for my terror encounters in Nuzlocke is it will be the first crystal I encounter. So it is none of this, which one's the best, it'll be the first one. So it would be a random encounter still. But we will see how this plays out, because again, it is a little bit more complicated than it probably needs to be early on, because a lot of the beginning is slow play. We will start filling up the screen when we start catching stuff. Right, we'll go and meet the starters, and then we'll roll the wheel and see what we're going to pick, because we then have to go through the Nemona battle, which is pretty boring. We all know, but we do get to just do early story stuff, so beat Arvin, follow Miraidon, etc., meet Penny, do the school nonsense stuff, and then you're free. Then I'll have to go to Kitakami and unlock the Kitakami stuff. I have to decide if I want to do both battles. They're both relatively easy at the start, but we'll see. So now it is time. We'll just get this little cutscene done, and then we'll bring the Wheel of Destiny to figure out what our starter will be. So we've met our starters, and now we need to make them follow us to his house. Let's have a look and see what we're going to get. Okay, I don't really know why we need to do this whole running sequence. Just give me the starter here. Okay. So, like, this is just, as I say, I've done so many, like, Nuzlocke type things anyway, but not very strict rules. Like, one of the saves I overwrote was called an area lock, where the idea was I could catch a team of 6 in each area. But I could only ever use them in 2 boss battles. So, yeah, that was something I did once. It worked for an extent, but I think I got a little bit burnt out because I was doing so many Nuzlocks and I just got very tired of it. Right, so here is our Wheel of Destiny. You are here. Let's see what our first type is going to be. Are you going to work? Okay. That didn't really work, did it? Okay, so we get Dark type to start with. So that is very frustrating. But it also means I can still... Dark types against the Bug Gym is going to be funky. But I will probably go for Houndoom and Dower, so that will be helpful. I'll remove that. So next time we have the wheel, we won't have Dark on it. Where's that? So let's go and get started. So I'm still pretty open for what we pick as our starter, because I don't really want to take Sprigatito into that gym. So I am thinking, but the thing is, I'm going to end up going to catch a Houndour, which gives me 2 fire types if I take 3 Cocoa. So I do want a bit of coverage here. What do we think we should start with? Is there anyone who's got an idea what they think will be best? We don't have much time to make the decision. There aren't too many ghost types, so it could also work that way. What else could we pick? Quaxley, as we say, is a bit annoying because there's so many water encounters. But we would want some fighting encounters. I do need to make sure we get some dark types. We said Houndour. Probably. Poochyena is an option. But then we don't really need to go too heavy on the dark types, because the other little rule I want to put in is I don't want more than the gym leader. And I'm pretty sure Katie only has 3 Pokemon. Yeah, she has 3 Pokemon. They all know a bug move. Great. So that's not great. So yeah. That's why I think Houndour is going to be crucial for this. It's the only way I think we're getting through. But again, Sprigatito could be good later if we have a grass type for something. But if we roll grass type too early, it's also quite bad. Welcome in, Tom Layden. How are you? I believe you were in Boy from Belgium's stream yesterday, weren't you? It does have U-turn, which would be very helpful. That's true. But the problem is I'm thinking types going further down the line. But then this could also be very helpful for the Elite Four / boss battles at the end. So you're back on the DAs. I will be back on DAs eventually. I just wanted to mix it up a little bit today because I've done a lot of DAs recently. I got a little bit burnt out on them. Cuslord's not the worst though, is it? As long as you get a big fairy type, you should be good. Like, randomly, that was one of the very few we got shiny in April. But we'll be going back to the well again. Yeah, it can probably... I think they can all pretty much solo something. But what I mean is, for this challenge, I will only be able to use it in one other... one other gym, which will be the grass battle. And if the grass battle comes up too early, I'm sort of stuck with having it not being very helpful. So I think automatically I should look at one of these two. Fair. Because we did the dark type only challenge, we fought a lot of Guzzlords in March, so I've got a bit programmed into how they were the easier one of the two dark types to beat. But that was pretty much me and Boy from Belgium doing all of them. I'm thinking potentially we're gonna. It is very difficult because, as I said, there's not many fighting types. Late game, neither of the two other ones are good. But most of Free Coco's weaknesses will be gone. I could understand, like, that was his longest stream, to be honest, yesterday. So he probably needs a bit of a refresh because 6 hours is very hard to do. To be honest, Palmy is another good example of a good electric fighting type. My dream situation will be to get 3 of each type, so Palmy could be a very good pick for the first route. So that leans me towards this. Did you get many shinies? I was doing some Landorus's on my own last night and I got a shiny Pangoro, which was very nice. So you said Roy was a good one, so we're going to call this Roy. I forget you actually have to backtrack all of the... Oh no, that's Rot. We'll change it in a minute. So the other little thing I'm going to have to do here is a bit of what I call the paperwork. I don't really do too much of this online. This is why I stopped doing streaming of Nuzlocke, because they are horrible to keep on top of when it comes to the paperwork side of things. Right, how does this look? So I've sort of built this. Right, we'll just have to forget the editing here. For now, just pretend you're not seeing anything. Where is the top? Okay, so there we are. This is going to be the Pokemon that we're going to be working with. It's not the biggest box, but it's going to do for me. So what I'm going to do is keep all of them like this, so we can all see what my potential options are. It's not the biggest picture, but it's going to have to do. I was going to put sprites for all of them, but you get a lot of encounters here, so I don't want to overdo it. Frostmoth is a nice one to get shown. I still have not got that. Yeah, that is another plus. I probably won't go for that one because I'm going to get a Houndour, so that's going to be 2 fire types early on. I don't want to overdo the fire types too early. Like, remember, we do have Kitakami we can play in, and there is a certain Pokemon I really want to get from Kitakami. Because if I get the right gym for fire, I will walk through it. Because Litwick with Flash Fire basically walls the boss. Because like the car boss in the fire starbase only has fire and normal moves, so you can take a Litwick in and just use like Hex or something and you'll beat it because you'll never get hit. I did it myself to like cheese the game. So that one I want to kind of keep, if I'm honest. I've just got to change that name because I spelled it wrong. Right, you're going to be Roy, not Rot. As we said, Lechonk is going to be a static, whatever happens. The other thing you always have to remember is Nemone generally has a Goodra or that line, and they all have Sap Sipper, so your grass type is pretty awful against her. I'm not going to give myself any restrictions on the Mona battles or the Kidakami storyline battles. As I said, Fletching is something I would love to get, but I feel like I should use this as a poor me opportunity, purely because it would be nice to get it in early. Like, again, if I have Fletchling, Free Cocoa and Houndour, I've filled 3 fire types up already, and suddenly I wouldn't need to hunt for another fire type for a while. But if I get flying against the rock type, it's already going to be difficult enough. I don't want to take a Fletchling in. Like, part of me was going to roll for the first 3 gyms, but I thought that would be a bit too much. If I'm going to do that, I would rather go for something a little bit more boring and go for a Hoppip. I know it sounds boring to go for Hoppip, but a grass flying is actually quite useful. That's why I was looking at that as my typing rather than Fletching. Plus I also use Fletching on my main save, so I kind of want to not do it. If I had picked the water type, I may have gone Fletching. That's true. But for this part of the challenge, as we say, remember it is Nuzlocke rule, so I will only be allowed 1 encounter per area, unless I'm giving myself a Lechonk for static, because I don't want to have the debate about whether that counts as my Pokepass encounter or not. Because if it counts as my Pokepass, I don't really care. It's not going to count as my Pokepass. I've also got to just do something here, because otherwise this will go wrong. Because we're actually... Yes, I thought this would happen. I need to go back here and do some more editing. Because of course I do. Move you up here a minute. Move you down. Move you down to about here. I need to actually scroll the page, don't I? Okay, so this is going to be a little bit annoying. Okay, so we're going to leave it like that. Right, and okay, we'll put another row in. We'll put another row in just for a bit more. I should have done this before. I forgot that I could actually cheese it to have like a full amount. We'll do one more row. And that should be perfect now. Right. We will do this to there, this to here, and this can go. Okay, doesn't go across anymore, does it? Great. We have to shrink this to 75%. That's better. Should have tested all this before I started, shouldn't I? So this is actually a proper like Nuzlocke tracker that I've got. I can actually do something better. Actually, I think I can switch this off. Where is it? Minimize editor. Then we can put it back to 100%. Now, what's that? Why is this loaded up? Go away. Right down. I know we've gone wrong this side now. There we go, Roy. And down some more. There we go, up a bit more. Perfect. Now we can lock that in. It'll move whenever we fill something out, I think. So we've got to just remember that. And we can't really help that, to be honest. It's going to happen due to how the tracker works. I can't get it to work on a different desktop. Which is a little bit annoying. Actually, I could try. Does it work on another desktop? See if it does anything. If I come into here, no. We'll close that one again. Keep that one. Maybe if I do it in a third window, it won't. Aha! Crocodile, it is an awesome one. I'll be honest, it's one of my favourites. From I would use it as much as I could, even though I know it is pretty frail, and I do love the shiny of it. Even though I've never had one, I recently saw it and just love the shiny. It's one of those that fitted that generation so well to give us something new and stand out. Right, so now we have fixed this, so we can edit that and not need to change it too much. I'm hoping like it is clear enough to see what everything is when we do this tracker. See, I say before, I've only really ever played a black and white twice, and never what you call experienced black and white. They were like very strict Nuzlocke rules things. So I used to do this thing called the Forever Lock, and amazingly, somebody actually finished it yesterday, Jackie. But the idea is to get every single Pokemon through a Nuzlocke and into the Hall of Fame. Not just rerun a Hall of Fame with a new team. Just countless Nuzlocks basically. And I used to do it quite a lot, but I don't have a physical copy of black and white, so it became a bit more difficult to do everything I wanted on there. So we didn't really stick to it. I switched to a Switch only version of it, but it didn't really click for me. I did about 200 odd, but it got a bit boring just playing Sword and Shield, Legends Arceus and this on repeat, a few BDSP runs. But for the most part, I got a bit burnt out with Nuzlocks, which is why we haven't done too many. We've spent most of our time shiny hunting. But we're not going to physically shiny hunt in this. If we see it, we'll go and get it. It'll be added to the team. On something that you mentioned, Dragon, you sent me that shiny hunting website app, whatever it's going to be called. It's sort of an app, but not an app. They do like things called events, which is very interesting. So if we did a like if we redid the bug catching event next month, for example, you would be able to submit all of the bug entries, but it might just be a more of a bigger community where everyone can enter one in. It does look very interesting. Like, if I'm going to use it, I'm going to probably lean towards doing that switch to shiny living dex concept that I spoke to you about. So that's why I haven't put any shinies in, but they're very good for the counters. So if we, let's just pick a random legendary. Let's say we wanted to hunt for Thunderous, which is one we've been going for. You could put a really good tracker on screen, and then you can just top up the trackers on your phone. That's very good. So that's where we would love to do more. But we'll work around what we could do with it. Like, as I say, the event thing could be very fun. It also could be team events. So if I set it up so I could put Boy from Belgium versus me, and we have a team of 3, and whoever gets the most shinies gets the most wins or something. There's stuff you can do and play around with that's very interesting. When it comes to the Conjuring movies, they are my favourite franchise that isn't a slasher, if that makes sense. I do like my horror movies. I will praise all 3 movies that have currently come out. The new one looks very interesting as well. I think the main reason they're so good is purely because of Patrick Wilson and Vera Farmiga. Their chemistry is exceptional as that couple. What I think of the Warrens is a different discussion altogether. You hear stories. It's very difficult to really decide where you lie on what they did or didn't do. So it's an interesting one. But I do like Annabelle Comes Home, strangely enough. the most out of the whole franchise, because I loved seeing all the random stuff in their special room as such. Yeah, we could do the grass type pony. The only thing that slightly worries me is I don't know how open to a community it is. I'm not so sure what that will be for the food, if I'm honest. Maybe we can try making it to hunt for shinies. But it's nice to see someone using the opinions polls. I put them in there from day one, and no, I think I've had one person ever ask me a question of it. I put the movie one in there because I generally review movies as well. So I've pretty much seen nearly everything that is coming out and will be coming out. This week I'm seeing Final Destination Bloodline. To continue my Final Destination franchise. I've seen them all. Love them all. Some of them are going to be more controversial because movies I'm really good at, music I'm really bad at. So I'm not the best at food and drink, and I thought the Pokemon one would be quite fun too. The one thing I won't have done yet is put in the shiny giveaway box yet, which is okay, we'll sort that out later. Thunderbolts was a lot better than I was expecting it to be. That's the thing I will say. My main complaint with the movie is I didn't know who some of the characters were, but I guess that's a me thing, a me problem. That's purely due to I don't watch the television shows, and because I don't watch the television shows, I don't understand what's going on. I didn't know who bad Captain America was, and why he was bad Captain America. And I kind of forgot who Taskmaster was. Like, we only had one film with the main character, whatever her name is. I forgot what the villain was, like where she had come from. Like, anyone got a fancy name for a Lechonk? We did actually get that G-Max Hatterin in a Dynamax a couple of weeks ago, which was quite funny. A Lechonk. As I said, I'm considering all statics. We'll go with Pumbaa then. Had to be the hardest letter to find on the keyboard with all my wires, but we'll go with Pumbaa. Does this update? No, it doesn't. Of course it doesn't. I hate this thing sometimes. I press refresh, does it do it? Okay. So this plan hasn't really worked to my best ability. Let's see what this looks like. Okay, that'll do. What we'll do is we'll do a few catches and then update it properly, I think. So what do we think is the best here? Like, we've had suggestions of Fletchling and Pawmi. I'm thinking Hoppit might be quite good to get for a little bit of extra coverage. We could go for a Timon, but that'll have to wait for ZA, maybe. And we get some more Pokeballs. I already know my Inlet Grotto encounter. That's a fact. Like, we know 100% it's going to be Houndour because we need some Dark-type Pokemon. And I think that can probably sweep the gym, if we're honest. But I would like to catch something else down here. So, what are some good suggestions? Because Fletchling, as we say, is great. Again, it's another lean towards fire. Is Ceruledge the violet one or the scarlet one? I can never remember which is which. Which is why I really think Hoppit might be good, to be honest here. Because if I get it for the rock or the ground gym, it's going to get a big strong grass move. But then poor me, we can get in other locations. I really need a dual type. So we could go for the poor me then. Because we did say poor me would be the saviour, basically, because of... And we want a fighting type, basically. So we'll go poor me, I think. Fletchling will still be on the table for a bit later. There's plenty of locations for it. It should survive an ember, alright. Probably don't even need to worry. Let's just catch this little fella. So we already know it's going to be called Timon. So, for me, the Timon. Not Bulbasaur, for me. Oh no, that's not how you spell for me, is it? There it is. Timon. There we go. We caught poor me. And what we'll do is when we do some cutscenes, we will then... And silly, I keep forgetting. I do keep forgetting that I have to delete. I still can't believe this was something they didn't do in this game. I've got to check whether I've named the Lechonk right now, haven't I? Did I call it Lechonk Pumba? Oh no, I did get that one right. Right, we don't really need to worry. Nothing else to get up there. So one of the other things I looked at was Spupa and Scatterbug would be interesting. See, Area 1 is going to be the most difficult one to pick something out of. Again, it would be amazing if I could have at least one. We could look at Simba for the Pyro. We'll be a little way before we get Litleo. Again, I do want to try and make sure I get a good set of spread coverage for moves. If I only use one type, we will end up in a bad position. I'm only going to keep updating this whenever there is a cutscene. Because, like, we've got to go and investigate this. Usually I spend hours collecting all the items, but I know from my own facts that I don't need to. I spent way too much time doing it. We could, like, one of the options we're looking at could be Poochyena. So what about naming it after one of the hyenas? And maybe the Houndour after one of the hyenas as well. Like, obviously there's 3. I can't remember their names, but... I know I've got to go and do a load of story stuff before I can actually catch it. I can't catch it till I can ride the Miraidon. But it's going to be the only way we're beating the bug gym, I think. I don't see much point in getting a Mabostiv yet, because if we've done the dark gym, if we could take it in, but there's a lot of better Pokemon to catch in the south area. Like, as we say, if we look at the map, do we get to look at the map? No? Do we not? Okay, we locked in a cutscene, are we? Okay. When we can look at the map, I think the south area too. I've already thought of something I really want to get from there, and that would probably be the Smoliv, because that is a normal type. A normal type and a grass type would work really well, because normal type is going to be the hardest thing to put a sensible team together for. Yes, so we'll probably look to use a couple of them. Shenzi and Banzai. I can't remember that. I loved the original Lion King, but I can't pronounce their name. But yeah. But we have quite a lot of encounters to get today, and we've got a lot of storyline to do, which is always the worst part of trying to Nuzlocke this game. Because once you can get your Miraidon, you fly through. For the Garfield movies, I like the Bill Murray story about them, where he misread the screenwriter's name. He thought it was somebody more award favourites. It's the only reason he did them. I didn't see the new one, if I'm honest. I don't tend to watch too many of those movies anymore. I lean quite heavily towards action and horror. And I've got a little bit burnt out on doing other stuff in the last year or so. Like in the summer I covered the Fright Fest in London. So I spent about 3 weeks trying to squeeze in about 50 to 60 movies before they're showing so I could put the reviews out. While I enjoy nearly all of them, it just takes a lot out of you. And I haven't really recovered since. But it's worth it for just that. I have seen Dead or Alive, yes. I actually have a copy of it. I'm one of those people that will support nearly every video game movie ever made. I don't really care. I don't expect big stories. Like for Dead or Alive, the character designs were good. They're what you expect from that sort of movie. I don't really know what people were expecting for a storyline from a game that is basically two characters fighting each other. So there's that. That's the way I look at it. I'm one of the people that will defend House of the Dead. So I'm not saying it's great, I'm just saying it's not terrible. Yeah, she's stepped away, hasn't she, from acting for a while. I've got to be very careful I don't run into something I don't want here, because that'll be quite annoying. The only gym that truly scares me is going to be the electric gym. It's probably the hardest gym, I think, in this game, if you're being strict with level caps, that is. Purely because the boss has no weaknesses. Because it's a levitating electric type. I just don't know how you're meant to beat it. Yeah, because she was in the Sin City, and I'm pretty sure she was in Too Fast, Too Furious, wasn't she? She's one of the Fast family that have never returned. But as we say, I think she stepped away from acting, hasn't she? Can you hurry up, please? I've done this storyline so many times. Am I too close? I got too close. You never know. I've heard rumours they're going to redo the whole sequel to the Fast 10. Rewrite the script because it didn't make too much money. I haven't actually ever watched the Pokemon movie, so I'm not sure. But I'm going to be honest, I really don't like the Avatar movies. I think they're bloated money-wise. I thought I was just watching a nature documentary for most part of that second one. I find them incredibly boring. I just have never, because I like Fern Gully, I like Princess Mononoke. They're the ones that I kind of just love, with the same story and better animation. Yeah, I think she was waving the flags around, wasn't she? I think they usually get some sort of pop star to do that. That's usually the job, isn't it? pop star waves some flags. I need to make sure we've been healed before I do this battle. Because there's been like these stories going round that producers are only hiring stars if they have a big social media following, which is quite a disturbing side effect of everything that's happening. And if people don't have social media, they get told, well, we might not be able to hire you until we get more people with more social media followings. It's crazy. And there's some people that say we never use it. So there's part of, like, again, when it comes to people who get the chance to review movies, there's this like new horrible tendency that they ask influencers to go to screenings rather than people that have earned their writing degrees who would get paid to write reviews. Instead, they pay the influencers to give a positive review, and then they turn up and they're very misbehaving, shall we say, at the press screenings, filming, talking during the films, and it's got people ticked off the wrong way. Because at the end of the day, more people are going to watch a TikTok of someone going, this film's great, go and watch it, than somebody writing 500 words to describe why it's good. That's the horrible side of the industry at the moment. That the only time I really get views is if I get Netflix movies out early. Even when I do get sent brand new movies, they just don't click. And because people aren't going out their way to watch stuff that gets released on digital anymore, even if it is something new, they don't really care. It's sad, really. There's too many as well. Definitely too many movies coming out. But that's what people do, isn't it? In a weird way. If you watch a lot of the TikTok reviews, they just type it in and get the AI to voice over it with a few snippets. And again, most people know whether they're going to watch a movie. Like, you've asked me about the Conjuring movies. I don't need to tell you how good or bad I think the new Conjuring movie is going to be. You're probably going to go and watch it. That's the reality of it. It's the same with other movies out there. Well, we'll be fine. We're level 7. I think it's a low level reason he's got, isn't it? Most of it is not so much to... the main reason I ever wrote about it was so I could actually talk to people about what I watched. So one of my other frustrations is not being able to have conversations about stuff you watch. I say the same about TV shows. There's a lot of TV shows that just come out in one go. You can watch all 8 episodes, and then your friend might watch 2, so you can't even talk to your friend about it because they haven't watched it all. Then we have the spoiler culture where we have to know everything within the first day of release. So that's taken over, which makes it a lot less enjoyable. I have never gone in to watch a movie and gone, that person said it was bad, I'm not going to enjoy this. I've gone in and watched movies that I've been told are good and got, I don't get the hype, but I haven't gone the other way. I'm quite happy to try everything once, movie-wise, and see what happens. But I mainly wrote so we could talk, and about 7-8 years ago it was quite busy, like lots of people were riding, lots of people were talking, but now everybody's sort of moved away. They're not doing as much. It's quite disheartening to see that like movies will come out, they'll be gone from the cinema in 2-3 weeks, and they're an afterthought. And people were left wondering what's next. I've actually enjoyed the whole modern franchise of the Apes, to be honest. Like, For me, it was, I don't know, I could go through them all and say they're the best. I think Rise did things it should never have had the ability to do. I think Dawn breaks through in a way it shouldn't have ever had a right to. And War for the Planet of the Apes is like the perfect finish for the trilogy. Was worse for the Horizons release, as in the Pokemon games, or because you have to. I don't think Horizons came out till nearly a year after the Scarlet and Violet had been released, had it? If I'm not mistaken. But we kind of knew we were going to get fresh characters because everybody said what happened at the end of the Galar storyline, didn't they? Which was a bit annoying. But that's like, again, if you're going to talk about the games, you look at how The Last of Us literally got leaked completely online. When that Last of Us 2, when it was coming out, and then there was all uproar because of what happens at the beginning, and people just sort of jumped on the bandwagon. We hate this, we don't like that, and then they played it, so actually it makes sense. So there was that. Right, I'm hoping I would like some suggestions on what to get in this area. I'm leaning very heavily towards maybe going for the Paldean Wooper. I think, yeah, I get that. But sometimes it depends, like, there's always been this talk of what do you call a spoiler window. And you also remember that when you first played it, it'd been out for nearly 3 or 2.5 years, maybe 3. So if you had learned how to play and how to do everything, it's not as bad. If you had got it, like, if ZA comes out tomorrow and you picked it up and someone told you the whole storyline by Tuesday, you would be pissed off. I would be pissed off. That's the thing with that. Like, I half expect people to know the GTA storyline at some point. Like, we already have this fear of ZA being completely ruined due to all the leaks, the rumours that people have completed it already. So well, all of them are, you would have to do all of the modding yourself. I think any 3DS is moddable. It's whether you're comfortable doing it. That's the best way to put it. It depends what you want as well, like how good a 3DS you want. Do you want to go for the 2DS thing that plays the 3DS games? They are relatively easy to do, it's just whether you're comfortable doing it. Because if you do something wrong, you brick it, and then you're stuck with something you can't use at all. I think the only reason I never did mine is I don't think the memory card was big enough to get all the software to do it. Because you kind of have to just download a load of software. It's a bit of a pain, but yeah. Most of the wording is like the one you're going to be using is probably the homebrew stuff, and they do have a very, very thorough guide on how to do it all. And my suggestion is just watch through the video once, read through the video once, and then work through it, because I don't think you actually touch your 3DS for a long part of it. You get most of the stuff onto a computer laptop before you put it on. So you will do it that way, and if it starts getting uncomfortable, you still won't have touched your 3DS. Is that more so you can do the virtual console? Or just in general? Like... Yeah, so any other suggestions on what we should get in South Area 1? As I said, one of my picks would be the Paldean Wooper. Gives me poison, gives me ground. Now I think that could be a good pairing. Obviously, the Azumarill could give me the fairy typing, in case I get fairy early. So that's what I mean, like, the guides are written to be, take your time to read them and you'll be fine. Like, the amount of people I've seen do it and not have any problems, I've never... there are Discord servers you can join that will have people who will literally go through it one step at a time for you. So just take your time. Don't rush it and you'll be fine. Yeah, so I think this is the best option. Here. It'll be fine to an Ember. It'll be fine. This just gives me the ground and poison coverage, which I probably need more than I want to admit. So yeah, we'll wait for another cutscene before we add it all to the tracker, because we're going to the school soon. When it comes to just moving through the game, I'm not going to be too picky about my levels. Like, I'll try not to go over level caps, but for example, none of this team can be used in the bug gem, so if they go to level 16, it's fine. Any names for a Wooper? And no, I'm not taking the obvious one. I got mine through CEX. You got CEX, you got cash converters. I would always prefer to buy it from somewhere where you can get more security. eBay, it depends who you're buying off. You don't know. Like, the one I bought a couple of years ago was £90, but now it's £150. But again, it depends how much you're going to use it. Are you going to be downloading all of the games, or what are you doing with it? That's kind of what you need to just be ask yourself all the questions. Like, it's safer just to get one. I used to say CEX, they give you the 5-year warranties, or should do. Like I say, you've got all the games, have you? Like, or is it the virtual console games you want to get? Yeah, there is that. You can go into, it depends on what's near you. I got mine through the post, but I was never going to do any of that. The other place you can obviously look is like, if you're willing to, I don't know if you have any other sort of second handy shops around your area. Like, I've got like Cash for Gold, they sometimes have 3DSs and stuff like that. That could be helpful. It kind of just depends how much time you're willing to take to check everything over as well. Now, CEX will generally have one or two in store. They will have to give you the chance to look at them. Yeah, it just depends what you've got around you. Like, you know, I know some cities probably don't have them, but are you going to buy yourself a copy of like Sun and Moon, Auras, etc., etc., or are you just going to try and download them all in the store? I don't quite get how it all works, to be honest. Oh, so you've got them, but you don't have 3DS to play them on? Is that what you're saying? Or you want a second one? Yeah, but that's going to be different discussion, like whether you should or shouldn't. Let's be honest, but they are all spiking in price, all the 3DS games as well. So if you are buying them, you would probably look to do them sooner rather than later. Right, do you have the water absorb ability? Because I know that the first fight with Nemona can be difficult. You have poison point, but you have a ground move, so that'll be fine. Okay. So I'm not really going to do too much beforehand. Like, I'm pretty sure she starts with the Sprigatito, so I should be able to beat that with the fire move without any problems. See, something I noticed about this game is the Pokemon's like second typing is actually strong against the final forms of what you're facing. So Quaquaval has fighting, which is strong against dark. Masquerado has the dark move, which is strong against the ghost types. Yeah, I guess the ghost isn't strong against fighting, but it's more immune to the fighting moves, which is quite nice. I'm not going to take on the trainers, I don't really care enough. As you can tell, I'm not really an EV trainer either. See, there's our fetchlands. We do a bit of Let's Go and see whether it goes. That's a shiny, don't make me kill it for you. Right, we're not ready to go into Kitakami yet, we are a bit too weak I think, but we have a few battles here. So yeah, we'll do this battle with Nemona, I have no problems. Like, I bought up all of the 3DS games and the DS about 3 years ago for a very ambitious project which I never did. So there's that. Right, where is the mouse? Here it is. Let's go into here and add a Wooper. Now that we got it. That we called Armless. Gotta be careful not to go too far. Otherwise we will trigger the battle. How do I change the typing of it? No, Form, Powday and Wooper. There we go. And then we can go back into this one. Press refresh. Switch off the editor and scroll down. I wish there was a way just to lock this if I want. And then we have our full team for now. We won't get anyone else for a little bit because we've got all of our annoying cutscenes. Fair enough. Well, hopefully it won't be too much of a problem. Like, the only reason I would potentially mod them is so that I could do full-blown randomizer Nuzlocks. I miss doing the randomizer Nuzlocke, if I'm honest. Yes, we shouldn't really advertise where they go, but Google is usually your friend. You're allowed to talk about emulators all you want, because emulators are legal, but the ROMs are not legal. Oh, you know match types. You pick the grass type, lady. You pick the grass type. There's another place that I found it was relatively nice. It was called the the Internet Archives. That seemed to be quite interesting. But as always, be careful. Don't do anything you shouldn't, etc. Disclaimer, disclaimer, blah blah, disclaimer. Now, that's not technically how it works, but you're not allowed to discuss where you get them from. I think that's the bit that's... because that technically you're advertising where to go. And that's against terms and conditions on here. That's why the answer is Google. If anyone ever asks, it is Google. I'm pretty sure this only has like a electric move. I still get scared by this fight because it hits very hard. Ooh. Yes, that's good. That's why we wanted this, really. It's the only reason we wanted this Pokemon, really. Because it completely walls Nemona. And if we wall Nemona, we have a chance to go a bit further. Where's the mouse? It's in the chat box. Okay. Let's go for one more and hopefully knock it out. And then we get into my least favourite part of the game. As we said, the start of the game is such a drag. Yeah, sorry Nemona, you're not very good at this thing. So I did want to use a different Nuzlocke tracker, which I love the sprites and stuff on it, but it doesn't have an update to include any of the DLC, so I would either have to manually install everything or manually install all of the locations, or just not write down any of the ones we get in Kitakami. So I've got to stick with this one, which is nice. It works. At least it shows everybody what we've got. We could do sprites. I'm not sure which is best. I'm probably not doing any DAs today. Well, I might do some much later. I'm not sure. Because I did get a Guzzlord as well last month. I'm part of a community that do shiny hunting, and they're doing like a generation order. And we're currently in Gen 5, so I'm sort of stuck looking for Landorus or Thunderous. That's the only DA ones left. It is open to join. They just are very strict with age. We do try and do some shiny hunting stuff. If I'm honest, I've got a few games on our Discord if you're interested. I'll put mine in here first. And then yeah, they are, like, my one's not as strict for ages, but they are very strict. If they know you're not 18, they will not let you in. It's more for your protection. Like, they're very strict with it, because I'm guessing something's happened in the past. I know some people were very strict with it, but I don't want to do any of this extra stuff. I just want to continue my story. But if you want to join mine, we have a couple of shiny hunting games. I'm just trying to do a few games to start with before I do big events. I do one called Who's That Pokemon? And the idea is somebody will pick a Pokemon and the rest of the community can submit a shiny and ask a yes or no question about it. So there is one ongoing at the moment, which is near the end. But just say, for example, when Dragon gets his Sprigatito, he could submit Sprigatito and ask, does it gain a typing when it evolves or something? Or is it a grass type? Is it weak to fire? Is it in Gen 9? So you've got to have it a bit connected to what you're doing or what that Pokemon is. The first one went relatively well. This one's going well. We do have something, a bit of a game where you're sort of meant to catch the Pokemon, and then the next one is the last letter is the first letter of the next Pokemon we catch. And I did make like a hangman game, but it's not been very popular, so I might get rid of that one, if I'm honest. But I'm trying to just do a few things so it's always there for people just to share some shinies that they get. I think one of the big things is just to make it very community based. I don't have a command for it, but there was like a new one that Dragon suggested, like a shiny hunting app type thing that's very good. You can follow people on there, so I've actually followed Dragon. So every time Dragon fills in that they got a shiny, I'll be able to see that they got the shiny, which is also quite nice. I can follow other people, but so what's the app called? If you join the Discord, you can actually, if you go down to the game chat, you'll be able to see it there. There's a link that goes straight to it. I've been trying to work out most likely letters and not many. Fair enough. But again, it can be just anything really. Like, I probably made it a bit too complicated. I probably should have just used one. Well, Dragon's one's linked in the Discord, but I've just put mine as voices locked, but I don't actually have anything registered on there. Because I'm thinking of doing a very, very ambitious challenge when the Switch 2 comes out. I haven't put anything in. I'm thinking of trying to do a shiny living dex from scratch with new accounts. So that's when I will start filling mine in if I do it. It's not showing me anything on here, but again, if you did join the Discord, Dragons is in the Discord. There's a link to his. I haven't actually done, all I've done is set the account up. I've not registered any shinies. I looked around at how you can make like counters and stuff, and that's all I've really done so far. I've been, again, because I want to do that other challenge. So that's why I've kind of just sort of set it up. As I said, you can follow people, they have ambassadors. So if there are streamers that are using it, they could get like an ambassador role. Like, I know Tiller does a lot of very talky shiny hunts. He is one. So it's quite open to help people discover. But it's got a nice little sort of sprite you can add in. So that's a good thing. But again, because I'm going to maybe do the bigger, very ambitious challenge, I've not put anything in. I thought it would be quite fun to try and get a living dex from scratch on the Switch 2, because then you have a start date. But I'm not sure whether to use timers or encounters, because I would have to basically do sword shield. We've got sword shield, scarlet violet, letters Arceus, probably a shining pearl. Let's go. I've got quite a lot I'll need to do before we really get into it. As in that app or the website, how that works, or other stuff. If you just want a bit of a checklist, I will always suggest the Austin John Plays Shiny Hunting Guide. It's a Google document that you can just save a copy for yourself, and you can just basically, it has a list, and there's a 1 in the middle. If you turn it to 0, so it'll just tick off that you've got it. I've been using them for years. It's the one I've currently got for my current shiny living dex, but it's only 25% done, so that's why I'm not too worried. The thing that's annoying is I set up a lot of saves with random names, so I kind of would like them all to be one similar name. The only 3DS ones I will probably shiny hunt in is maybe That's not a problem. We don't mind people showing off their shinies. Now, did you join the Discord as well or not? Because if you did join the Discord, feel free to share the link to that website and then we can do the follow thing. Probably not a good idea to do this against the Youngest. It might have a... I forgot what moves it has. And then I can press the follow button. Like, I'm tempted to try and make an event, but I just want to make sure it's more private, if that makes sense. So it's sort of the people I follow. I don't want everybody on the app to see that I'm trying to do a bug hunting contest or something. I'm not quite sure how it works that way, but the idea is you can like it's perfect for what I'm doing here, but you can make a clip of all of the shinies that you catch, and then you can upload the clip to the shiny that you caught, and you can obviously just do pictures as well. But if I was going to stream the whole lot, I can then put the clip into the shiny I caught and then just have the whole thing recorded that way, which sounds pretty good. I'm not sure if it will accept YouTube or Twitch or everything, but that's something for a bit later. As we know, we're in cutscene nightmares. And I feel we've done the cutscenes pretty quickly, but we're still like an hour in and we still haven't finished. Actually, I was going to ask you, Dragon, did it show that I had followed you in that app or not? Just out of interest. Able to find the chat. Where is it? There it is. If you ever see something registered, it's mainly me just playing with it more than anything else. I was looking at events, I was looking at how to add like the counter, because I've got it on my phone as well. It's not the best on the phone. Yeah, does it say how many people are following you on here? Or not? That's the thing I wasn't quite sure. Fair enough, but when you go on to like the home page, you will see your friends or your followers, won't you? Where is it? Oh, there's a favourites page, that's what it is, because we're favourites, not followers. So it just shows me the 2 people that I follow now. And then it shows you everything that goes in. So the best example is look at what Dragon's got. And you can see just how much is opened up. And you don't need to deal with the payment side of it. I would say just keep it free until you're very comfortable. If you love and love using it, you could obviously upgrade, but don't push yourself into it early on. Like, they make a big point that the only thing that really changes is a few customizable colours through the pro mode, and basically you can only track 5 hunts on the free mode. That's the only real difference. So don't pressure yourself to think you need it. Like, for example, you could put your Guzzlord in there, and then if you have it on your phone you can just tick it off and see how many you've done, which is very nice. But if you were to do like sandwich hunts, the other side of that is you would do it as time, not number of encounters, I think. That's why we're looking at the other thing, and probably the same with... I don't know how you would count the Let's Go ones. Would you count how many you see on the screen as an encounter, or everything you try to catch? I don't know, but it's got lots of options. You can do it as timed, you can do it as number of eggs, number of encounters, etc. which is nice. But as I say, you can save it on your phone, but it's not really a proper. Well, welcome in, Pumpkin Player, how are you? And welcome in, Yuki, how are you? We are trying something different, and thank you for the follow. We are trying something called a TypeLocke. So what we do is we spin a wheel before each badge you can get. There's 18 obviously in this game, and that type is what we have to use, but we have Nuzlocke rolls. So we've spun the badge, the wheel for what we need for Katie, the bug gym leader, and we got dark type because of course we got dark type. But we're just doing most of the tutorial because we need to get through hand holding before we can really get going. My main plan is to get the Houndoom or Houndour, which I can't get until I get the Miraidon back. Then I can just fly back and go to the Inlet Grotto. Then we can start doing all the other encounters once we've done all of the tutorial stuff. I don't think any of these answers matter, to be honest, unless you want to just say you don't want to be Nemona's friend and she won't let you carry on if you say no. I've done so many Nuzlocks, we're not going to have to talk through this. We know what this is all about. But I can use all the Pokemon to get to the gym because I need to level them up anyway. But we're only counting the gym leaders. Once we do all 18, I think I worked out there's actually exactly 9 trainers to face at the end. You've got the Elite 5, Nemona, Arven, Penny and Clive. So what I've done is I'm going to say I can have 2 types per battle, but only 3 of each type. That's the kind of challenge we're at. Now where do I want to go now? I always forget where I need to go. I probably should read more, but I don't really care enough with the beginning part. Yeah, so that's kind of what we've been doing. So far we have a free Coco, Lechonk, which is your static. We got a Pawmi and we got a Paldean Wooper, so that is a good 7 types covered already. My plan is already to go for the Iggly/Jigglypuff from the Pokemon League. Normal and Fairy is going to be important. And obviously I said we're going to go and get the Houndour. And then we'll start doing our encounters, because we can also go to Kitakami and do that bit. The beginning bit has a lot going on. So we kind of just need to pace ourselves through it, otherwise we will miss out. But we were just sort of discussing my very ambitious shiny hunting project. That will start in June, where I want to try and build a shiny living dex from scratch. And we also we've found, like Dragon mentioned us, this shiny hunting dex tracking app, which is very interesting. Has a few little competition type things you can add to it as well. So we kind of looking into some things we can do with that. You sort of can follow people or favourite in this mode, so you can see what the people you follow or favourite are catching shiny, which is quite interesting, and you get a very good visual representation of all the Pokemon you're catching shiny, rather than it just being a screenshot here or a list there. It sort of like becomes what feels like an interactive Pokedex. But because we've done so many DAs recently, I needed a bit of a break from DAs, 6 days a week type of attitude. All of April we did it at least 6 days a week. We've still been doing a couple of days a week last week. And they're fun. I do enjoy them, but I want to do something else. We were meant to be doing Mario Kart, but nobody really wanted to play. So, okay, so now we've got one storyline set up. Now we've got to go and learn about the next one. Are you tracking all those eggs on that app as well? And have you set it up on your phone? Probably will take a break. It just the D8 I needed the break from more than anything. And we could bring Mario Kart back. Like, it's one of them. I was doing like open lobbies twice a week, no, 3 times a week, and the last 2, like, we were there for what, 3-hour streams, and we didn't have anybody who wanted to join, so I was having to play with complete randoms online. And now I've set this challenge up, I've just taken a bit of a step back from it. But my plan was to get good before the Switch 2 comes out, because we have a Switch 2 on order with Mario Kart, so that's going to be the plan. Fair enough, that makes sense. Because it isn't a proper app on your phone, is it? That's the only thing that's a bit of a downside on it. And there isn't a mobile app for it. It's more just save the web page to your home page. That's the only thing it does, because that's what I looked at. But that's no different than that other Shiny Dex tracker I mentioned to you, the one that A-Drive made. We only do about 3 hours a day, so we are okay with the 3 hours. Like, 3 hours is fine. Like, DAs work quite well for 3 hours because you really don't notice the time fly by, if we're honest, because nearly every DA is a good 20 odd minutes. You're discussing strategy, you're working out what to do, etc. That's really nice. When you do more, like we did some just plain shiny hunting, they can sometimes drag along a bit more, but that's why we're here. We want to just talk nonsense and shiny hunt. That's the best thing about shiny hunting. And most of what I've ever done has been a challenge video. So like my first thing I did was 31 hours in Legends Arceus, an hour a day. Then we did 100 sandwiches in Violet. We did a couple of Let's Plays on Shining Pearl and the new Pokemon Snap. Then we did, in March, we did shiny hunting every dark type Pokemon. And in April we did how many shinies can we get in DAs, and we did just under 400 DAs to see how many shinies we could get. But this month I didn't really set a challenge up. This has always been one of my potential options for a challenge though, this TypeLocke. It's just this part of the game is really annoyingly boring. I hate playing through the beginning of this game. I've done it so many times for other Nuzlockes. So yeah, I kind of kept putting it off. I didn't know how far to go. I couldn't just run here with my starter, it wouldn't make sense. So I had to start at the very beginning. And it's just whether I had the patience to sit through an hour-and-a-half long tutorial again. Yes. Well, I used to do these like Nuzlockes on here, like not proper nut. There's a variation of Nuzlockes called the Forever Lock, and I already had a team by the time I got to the lighthouse, or before I battled the Lechonk, because that's how early you can access your box. And most of them were level 10 to 15, so it's even more boring. Once I can get Miraidon, I can go and do my encounters, and that's the main thing. I think my main goal is to try and get all of my encounters done today, and maybe battle Katie. But then I could just go and get... It's risky to just go and catch the Houndour, because it would be too weak. And again, we have to do all of this in repeat. I've got like a proper list of everything that I need to get and what levels they are. So I don't have too many problems with that. Like, what have we got? So we have... I've mentioned it at the very beginning, but we still have to go to South Area 2-3. I can technically try something in the Paldea and see, but I don't think I can reach anything. And we got Inlet Godot Pokemon League still to catch. I'm not going to touch the west, but then because Kitakami is open for us, I can now get the Kitakami, Oni Mountain, Revelers Road, Oni Muir, Apple Hills. So I've got quite a lot of encounters to do. Remember, you can't put links in the chat here. I don't even know what link you were trying to put in, but I'm assuming it was for the shiny hunting guide. It doesn't do anything to say you're blocked or anything, don't worry. It's just, all it gives me is the stars as well. So if I go on here now and click on favorites, I can now see what you've put in, I believe. No? Okay, it does the other way around. It's not. I need to rotate that because... No, actually, successes? No. Okay. It's a bit weird that it's doing... I thought it might have done it as like a newest one. But never mind. Oh, you got the Obstagoon. Not jealous. I got the Linoon the other day, which was very nice. Oh, and you got the Blacephalon. That was one of our biggest hunts. And we spent hours... When we were doing the DAs, Blacephalon was the one we did the most. If we're honest. I'm not sure what's going on, but... Yeah, we were probably close, maybe even over that. And considering we did 400, we got Moltres in 2, I think. We got Heatran in 4, we got Guzzlord in 3, Cresselia in about 20, and Azelf in about 25. They were the only shinies we got in that month for the Legends. Because I was quite surprised, because my other goal in that challenge was to encounter everything. And Guzzlord was actually the last thing we encountered on the whole challenge. And we got it shiny pretty quickly. Any preferred Masuda hunts you're after? My most recent ones were Tortuga and Caracosta. They were the last two I got. And I got an extreme bit of luck where I got a Fiona in 27 eggs in Scarlet and Violet. So that was good. I've seen people do just see like Dragon over 1,000 encounters and not a single shiny yet. That's what puts me off the egg hunting the most. When you have days when you get nothing, you just get completely beaten down. You don't want to keep going back. I want to know what Ironically is up to. He's definitely caught something, I feel. Can I leave yet? Am I still button bashing? Oh, there you are. I wondered what was happening. Yeah, for some reason it sort of does. The announcements don't seem to trigger on the phones very well. Yeah, so we're trying this TypeLocke. We've nearly finished the boring part, but we have to use dark types for the bug check. That was the way the dice rolled, so we're trying to get our team ready. We've only got 4 encounters so far. That's all you can get, I think, by this stage of the game. I did get a really good shiny though in the DAs yesterday. I got a Pangoro. I was doing some Landorus solo ones and I got that. I try to go live about the same time every day though. Yes, one type per the 18 badges on here. Where is this? So I've got a wheel that I spin, which will be after each gym leader. If it or Starbase or Titan Battle. That's kind of the goal. So we've got 4 members of the team. Oh, Houndour is going to be my saviour. I'm going to go back to the Inlet Grotto and get a Houndour. I think I have to go to sleep first, don't I? Yes, just let me finish the story. I'm giving myself a bit of a reprieve where I could have taken Sprigatito and used, because if it evolves into one of the other types, I will allow it. Because if I get Grass and Dark in the first 2 gyms, Sprigatito's done anyway. But I gave myself Rikoko because I think Ghost is relatively rare, mainly. I nearly took Quaquavel because fighting is relatively rare too. I'm not even going to get Mischief even. I'm focusing. I'm probably looking at some other types. I could, but it would be over the level cap. But it might be good for late game. So basically the 18 badges, it has to be a different type per badge. But at the end game, I believe you've got the Elite Four and the boss, champion, whatever her name is. Then you've got Nimona, Arven, Clive and Penny, which I think is 9. I give myself 2 types per battle there. But I can only have 3 of each type covered in the team of 6. If that makes sense. I know. That's why I'm also having level caps as well, so I can't go over level 15. I'm only doing the gym bosses, anyone, so that's where we're going to be with that. That's where we're going to stand on all of our level caps. Yeah, so the beginning game, as we know, is just button bashing, but I've got a lot of encounters I can go and get in Kitakami. So I might just go and get Houndour. I'm torn between trying to get Poochyena because it would be relatively helpful, but it's too weak, I think. I just don't think anything is good enough. Like, if I could get a Fire Terror Houndour, I'll just Terror at the beginning and then I'm fine. That's kind of the plan. Like, we know Kitakami's relatively easy to get through. I have a guide I made for my old Nuzlocke. So, Kitakami she has Poochyena, Vulpix and Poltergeist at level 13 to our top level. And they don't really have many moves. Like, it's got Bite and Tackle the Poochyena, it's got Ember and Quick Attack on the Vulpix, and Mega Drain and Astonish on the Poltergeist. So that'll be relatively easy to beat. Not quite yet, we didn't do much training. But we're going to go to the Pokemon League and get ourselves a Jigglypuff or Igglybuff, whichever one it is. I'm picking that because it's a dual typing. I could just get a Fido or a Tandemaus, but that's one type. It's not that helpful. Morning, Zach. Welcome in. How are you doing? We are trying a TypeLocke because we want to do something different than DAs today. We were a bit burnt out on them. We did way too many. Right, now we just run down here, talk one more time, no, 2 more times I think, and then we're free to actually play the game. Oh no, we'll get the call from Jacques, don't we? Oh, that's an idea. We also get the starter egg for a Gen 4 starter, don't we? That I could hatch in the main town. Well, hopefully nothing too serious. I get the tired feelings, like especially in the UK. It's been very hot recently, and when it's hot, it just makes me drowsy all the time. I don't really have too much of a problem with most of the game, to be honest. I've never, like, I've come from the 2D down top version of Pokemon games, so anything 3D is better than what I was used to. Like, I prefer Sword and Shield just because I still like the idea of random encounters. But for the most part, yes, we hate the hot drowsiness. It's just one of those things where it just sort of hits you when you think you're fine, and then it's like, I'm awake, I'm awake. But luckily today it's not too hot, so. But we say we'll do this a couple of days a week. We'll do the DAs another couple of days. I'm so torn but whether just to go and get all of my encounters. There is, I think there's something, it's a mix you can put both the pocket game or the physical game, I don't mind. My Discord relatively new. Or just the trading. Yeah, if you're playing one game or the other, there should be a trading chat as well. Like, I think it, or it's just game help. Again, we're pretty new, so our Discord's still sort of growing. Most of it is just news and when we're live. We would love to be more open to more people joining and doing other stuff in there. I've kind of forgotten what I added nowadays. I've done so many things. Yeah, so there's a Pokemon section with trade requests. But I don't know whether anybody will have anything like that you're after, to be honest. Is that more that you want the mightiest mark ones? Or that you're after, or is it sort of other sides of the Pokemon games you want? Sort of like your Zarudes and Zeraoras. Is that what you were after? Fair enough. I 100% have not done any. Well, I think I did the first couple of Mightiest Mark ones, and then I couldn't be bothered anymore. I was kind of lazy with them. I don't know any of the other event Pokemon, to be honest. I know, obviously, your Mythicals, but they're going to be hard to come by. Some people will trade them, but they might be copies. That's just, if it's just to complete a living dex, it's not as bad. But if it's to use like competitively, that's when people won't bother. So just be careful if anyone is going to reply. I doubt very much many people in there will have them. Is it more because you missed them completely, you weren't playing the games at the time, or... Because again, I don't really know what any event Pokemon between the Mightiest Mark era and earlier were. So you sort of are looking for like all the Mightiest Mark ones, I'm assuming. Like the only ones that I did any of the events for was I think I got myself about 5 of the shiny Rayquazas. That's about it. But they're going to be sort of saved for any sort of potential subathon type thing I might do. Because I already do like the shiny giveaway stuff. And they're not going to be for trade yet. They're going to be sort of something I will do an event for, like, because I've got so many Sword and Shield accounts, I want to try and rack up some spare shiny legendaries, and then I'll do some sort of event where we can do DAs, and at the time it will be something like, for X amount of gifties you can take one of the legendary spares out of the box, but I don't have any yet. I don't know how I'm going to do it yet completely. Yeah, I get it. I know people that literally switch the game on just to do the Mightiest Mark Pokemon, like from back in the day. But that's kind of what I will eventually do. But we're still pretty new to all of this. Right? We started regularly streaming back in December. I think technically we've actually just got our, well, this week we should get our first ever payout. So that shows you how long we've been doing this. But the idea would be something along the lines where I will have a box, like in most games, not this one at the moment, I have a basic shiny giveaway box, and if you look at the channel points, it's quite an expensive channel point one. Where is it? Like claim a spare shiny is 20,000 channel points, which takes a while to get, but if people claim it, there will be a box in the game I'm playing, and it will be something out of the box I'm playing that you can pick something of, but there will never be legendaries in. I know the feeling. What I used to do is I used to be someone who would find a streamer to watch for about a month, and if they still were around I would then like sub. But I think I subbed to about 4 streamers early last year, and only one still streams. I did the same this year, and one of them was the same, but I did 3 others, and a few of them have stopped streaming again. Sometimes it's personal reasons, which is fair enough, I understand that. Oh, what's the lock map, please? I want to keep this in the right direction. No? That's what I want. The thing is, a lot of it is trying to stay positive when you have lower numbers. That's why I push myself to make my streams more of a challenge, rather than I'm just going to do a Nuzlocke or I'm just going to shiny hunt this. It's like, to me, I don't enjoy that. That's why I try to do, like, as I said, I did, like, we were going to just shiny hunt all the dark type Pokemon for a month. That was my challenge, and that worked quite well for me. I've still got to be careful not to run into the wrong Pokemon here, so let's go and find our Houndours. There we go. Please be a Fire Terror. So the other thing for me is I run everything off. Well, I'm just a Switch streamer, so all I need is a capture card, and I've got everything I need to do the streaming. Anybody want to help name a Houndour? Or shall we start naming it after people? In the chat. Leroy, then. Oh yeah, we did say we were going to name them after the hyenas from the Lion King. Because we've already got Timon and Pumbaa. So, and I was going to go for, what was it? We were going to go for maybe Poochyena to be another one. Are you a Fire Terror? Because that will pretty much complete. We don't need to get another Dark type if you're Fire Terror. Yes. And you got Flash Fire. Have we caught any marked Pokemon yet? Like, all I bought extra to do anything streaming was a capture card. I had laptops already, so that was alright for me, because I did a lot of film review stuff. So I had one for writing, one for watching. I had a microphone because I used to do podcasting, and I had a camera because I used to make film review videos. So I had everything I kind of needed. The only additional thing I got was a little relatively cheap light. But if I did streaming in the evenings, and I got a USB port so I could plug a few more things in. So I would probably should look to get a better capture card, if I'm honest. Like, mine literally is just plugged straight into a USB. There's none of the fanciness. I can't play it on my telly, which is a little bit annoying, but when I'm doing most games, I can just about wing it on here. Right, I'm not going to fill in the tracker till we've done all the catches, because it seems a bit pointless, because we're going to go and do like 3 catches now. And I said we're going to go and catch an Igglybuff because it's pretty easy. But that's how I did it. Yeah, Altaria can be an annoying one to battle, I'm not going to lie. It's surprisingly more powerful than you think. Because the other side of it is a lot of people do stream off their consoles, and when you're streaming off your console, you don't have all the additional equipment as such. So it is literally streaming, so just playing it and then talking over it, it's not quite as detailed, which can be a bit difficult. Yeah, so we said we wanted an Igglybuff because it's a dual typing. It's the only reason we want this. I'm pretty sure I'll just go straight in the Pokeball. Anybody got a nickname for an Igglybuff? Or shall we get... We can't really call it Leroy because it was a female Igglybuff. I could have got Tandemaus, or I could have got... what was the other one? Fido, which I do like Fido. But it wasn't going to really help us move on, if I'm honest. As I said, at this stage I really want dual types, just in case I get something thrown at me quite early on. That is still in team, right? Yes, and that's like our team at the moment. Well, we might as well have some funny nicknames. That's part of the fun, isn't it? Not this one. I do need you to level up a bit faster, but I can't really put you at the top. Right. We can't quite do Kitakami yet. So what we're going to do is we're going to go and just do South Area 2. See what's there. I think we can get a couple of good ones there. Like, part of me was looking at Smoliv already. A strong grass type. And a normal type. But what's everybody's suggestion for the South Area 2, like on the way to Katie? What would you pick? I'm open to ideas. Again, I would like to lean towards dual types, especially in the early game. I know, as I said, we do have dark types, which is going to be a problem. America is an option, of course, and that would probably cover my electric typings for most of the game, I would say. I wouldn't really push for another one, but Mariup and Smoliv, we can have a little tour, but I think you get most of the birds, Starly, which I don't really want to take a Starly, let's be honest. We got Pikachu, we got Smoliv, we got Sunkern. No, we don't want to run around blind. I did actually like the Mario movie more than I probably should have. I know a lot of people complained about it. But we don't want Starly. That's the one thing we don't want. I know we will want a flying type soon. See, this is where it's a bit more... I've got to be clever not to go too many repeats, because I don't know what the next one's going to be. And on the plus side, we're also going to do shinies count as anything. I don't think I can get it here. I think it's the next area. Should be slightly too higher level for me at the moment. I'd be very scared to get Rockruff, I think, at the moment, because it would be the only rock type I have. But then that's part of this challenge. Like, do I skip a few encounters? Do I need to get all the encounters early on? Like I said, I want to go and take on a bit of Kitakami, but I've got something ready to deal with this first gym. I don't need to do too much more. Tinkerton, that could be an idea. That is Steel and Fairy covered, which is one type we 100% don't have. And it can't do too much damage. That would make sense, Tinkerton. So now we've got three options: Tinkerton, Smoliv, and Merreep, I believe. So with one message, write down which one you think we should get. And that's the one we'll try and get. I could make a poll. But I don't think I can see... Can I see genders? I can't see genders, so Vesper Queen is not a safe bet to go for. Just remember, I'm also playing this as Nuzlocke, so it will be my first encounter. It's the only one I can have. It does fill up a bug quota, I guess, as well. The thing is, I can get bug and flying at the beginning of Kitakami. So that's another thing I'm looking at. Because you've got... I could get a Yam... because I like Yamega. I would like to try Yamega. So we have one vote for Tinkerton. Tinkertink. Oh, why now? I've never... Strange, it's one Pokemon I never used was Tinkerton. Because as we said, part of this difficulty of this challenge is the beginning Pokemon. I don't know what I'm getting next. We are taking on... The thing after this will be Cloth, which is level 16. So there is that. Like, that's why I've got to be careful not to do too many repetitive encounters. I can risk a few more areas, but is it worth it? I've also sort of said that I will re-roll if I get ice, because I don't think I can get an ice type that is below level 20. And even after that, it will be pretty much a Shelder or a Cloyster. I will just add a shiny in, but I will not be hunting. I will give myself the shiny claws of it joins the team, whatever. The other little question was, do I give myself a raid encounter per area too? I looked at the idea of maybe having one raid encounter per area, but it'll be the first raid I go to. That's my encounter. Just to have a big pool of Pokemon. It isn't a pick one up at a time. Maybe that could be the rule. Do the encounter at the next gym as such. Okay, I'll try my luck with that. Okay, shouldn't do too much. This is going to be hard to weaken, isn't it? So, like, we've got Katie, so we should use the area around Katie. One around Cloth. The only thing is I would like, in a weird way, I would like them to be low-level encounters. What else did we get? What's this? A nest ball? Yeah. We'll try a Great Ball. We might catch it. Whoop. So you think I should get myself the Titan as well, which is interesting. A name for our Tinkerton? Don't really want charge. I worry about moves when I'm actually doing the moves, to be honest. So, like, I can go and recatch the cloth. Fix it, Felix. We could do that. I think this one can go online. I forgot which one. I set this up and I forgot which one we're in. Y is space, okay. Nope, that's Felix. We gotta go for fix it, Felix. Probably watching in pain at my bad typing in this. I don't really mind cloth. I think cloth's really good. Yeah, so yeah, we could do that. This was already a high level. I can leave that for now. That can go in the box. Welcome in, boy from Belgium. How are you today? So we're saying we could do one terror encounter here. I will probably, for my own sanity, do it a bit later. I'm going to do some very, very boring leveling up. What? Why won't you go and attack that? I thought for a minute I had caught a shiny. But I'm also going to be very strict with the terror. If I'm going to do the terror raids, it's whatever one I run into is going to be the one that I'm going to take on. I'm not going to pick and choose. That will be my encounter unless it is a dupe. Which I think is fair. Oh, we could have gone for a Cricketot. That would have been funky. But I will not include the terror type as one of the typings as such, if that makes sense. But we've got like quite a varied team now. And we said we still got Killer Khan we could go and do. I feel like I need a couple of levels before we go over there. And then we can update the tracker. Because, let's be honest, we're falling behind on our updating. And we also got to remember I can only use Houndour at the moment in the gym. It would probably be good to get one more just in the back that can help. I guess that's probably thinking like that's why Pucciano was one of my options. I don't know how early Jacques turns up to give me an egg. Okay, I keep walking into Pokemon, but I didn't see. This is not good. Does this have Arena Trap? That would be quite annoying. Do you have... no. Can we run? No, of course we can't. That's not a good start. Well, we're going to have to beat this the hard way. Burn it to the ground. Yeah, he gives you an egg just outside of the main town. But it's a... I can't remember if it's locked to what you get, so I don't know if I'll just get like a Chimchar or whether it could be anything. I don't think it is, because I think on my Soul Link we got a couple of repeats. So we couldn't actually use it as our encounter, because we got two... I think we got two grass types. Now we're definitely going to take the egg. Did you go and meet him for like a picnic? That's pretty much all you need to do to unlock it. Just outside going towards the hall. Right. Actually, I'm going to go to the town to unlock the poker stop, but we're not going to go do the battle yet. We're probably going to go over to Kitakami now anyway. If we look at the Kitakami squad, we should be relatively fine. It's got nothing strong. Like for example, if I take the... It can only use quick attack with the Vulpix, so I use Houndour as well. I'm pretty sure it comes up pretty early. Oh yeah, every time we go here we're going to get told something, aren't we? Right, yeah, we said we just want to go to the town. I probably should be a bit smarter, because I keep forgetting I haven't got all of the boosts that I'm used to having. Oh, that might be quite a good one just to go and beat up. The amount of time we spent looking for a Smoliv. So the only other problem I've got with this is I'm playing it on a smaller screen than I would normally play on, because I want to keep her. Okay, I always forgot what they did, because I will always say the same thing. When you get the DLCs late, you kind of just forget what everything is. So we'll go over to Kitakami now. I think we'll be okay. The bite will be annoying, but as I said, it's a Puchiena. What have we got? Is anything very strong? I forgot to check my team levels. What's our levels? We might actually put the Tink back in for this, just because it's probably got a better fairy move. Like, the Chonk can go and sit down for a while. You're not really going to be used. You were a static anyway. This will be good against the first one. Very good. Yeah, I remember the Mark Charm. That's the one that's very helpful. Right, it has Fairy Wind. This will be able to handle that, and then we can unlock that area. Right, so we've unlocked this, so when we travel we can go faster. We want to go up here and go to Kitakami. Right, the plan will be to get the encounter first. So this is where I'm looking at getting a bug type. I know, but then I should look at Puchiena, because I do want a backup dark type for this first gym. Just in case something goes wrong. So I don't know how early can you get the egg? Is it literally after the first two battles? So this challenge is basically each of the 18 badges I have to use a different type Pokemon in. I spin the wheel to see what we have to use, but it's also like Nuzlocke rules, so I'm only allowed one per area. So that's the plan. That is our target. But we're sort of doing the finalised rules on Terra battles. Like, I would be quite happy to travel the whole map and do a Terra in each area, but I do get that it would be two. But we're going to basically say, like, we got to do Katie first, so we can do one outside of the Katie battle, and that will be our one Terra encounter. When we go and do the cloth battle, we can get one from that area, and so on and so forth. Just so we don't get too many. I think that's how it's going to work. I think it'll work. But it's like, we spanned the wheel before we picked our starter, and we got the dark type, which we still didn't take the Sprigatito, which we could have used. Just to make it a little bit more sensible, I've made it so that if, like, the starters, obviously they will get a second typing. if that becomes something else, I will be able to use it earlier. So if I did take Sprigatito, I could have used it as a dark type. I could use Greninja, but I can't get a Greninja. So it's a bit difficult. At the moment, my hopes and dreams are on a Houndour to beat the gym. Because you have to remember, I'm also treating this as a Nuzlocke, so I can't over-level. I'm not going to take trade eggs, etc. I'm just going to use what I can get to build a team. This is why we've been doing a lot of trying to spread the typings around, because I don't know what the second one's going to be. Which is, I think is the sensible way to play this. Right. But we'll find out. As I said, most of today is going to be doing the early encounters. Like, that is one very likely one we could go for ground. But I don't think we can get one till we get to the desert. I think that's the earliest I can get one. But I'm not 100% sure. But we're going to go and get the encounter on the Kitakami Road. And do the first two battles, because I think I'm okay with them. I'm relatively confident. Like, it doesn't matter what I use before each gym. It's not like I have to use dark Pokemon only until I beat Katie. It means the battle against Katie has to be a dark type team of some sort. Like, one of the more like outside the box ones that could be good to use would be like a Nimble. But it's risky. But so far we haven't updated the screen layout yet. But we've also got an Igglybuff, a Tinkertot, and a Houndour, I think, is the missing one there. We've got 7 altogether. Now actually we'll do Area 1 when we face Arven. That makes more sense. Much later in the game. But I'm going to do it one Terra battle, but it's going to be the first Terra raid I run into. So not something I know. It's going to be pretty random and hope for the best. The only other little sub-rule is I will probably have to re-roll Ice. Because I'm pretty confident in saying I cannot get an Ice type early game. That's the main reason why we're here, is we're a bit burnt out on DAs. That's the problem with them. Like, I find a lot of the shiny hunting methods, they can burn you out quite quickly if you're not enjoying them, like especially if you go for a bit of a dry spell. This takes Poochyena off the table early, doesn't it? But I could go and try and get a Seedot. That's another backup, I guess. Any other dark type Pokemon you know early games? Yeah, that's pretty much what we've been like. Like, we were doing a bit of alpha hunting. We did a bit of proper shiny hunting in here. And that's because we're sort of at that stage where most of the things you pick are going to be things you've either got shiny, and the legendaries are just you're using the same Pokemon. That's what I find I get a little bit bored of DAs. It's just we're facing like, as in shiny repeat though. I mean, when they're on stream they're fun because you're always thinking and strategizing, which is fun. I like that. But when you're sort of just doing them on your own, you either have randoms that make silly decisions, or you're trying to sort of work together with your hope they're smart enough, and sort of annoys you when they're not. But what I mean, because you've been doing Bulo, when you face Bulo, you're targeting the same Pokemon en route to Bulo. If that makes sense. So you're probably getting a bit tired of seeing the same Pokemon, like especially like we've been doing a lot of Zekrom with, but we cut our Zekrom down quite a lot. I only do Zekrom with Robin, which is fine because when we do it, we nearly always end up seeing a what is it, a Wigglytuff because it's broken for that battle, and I don't want a Wigglytuff shiny. But I can't ride Miraidon yet. I forget that. Yeah, so there's always the VCs if you want to. There is a Dynamax adventure, so if you do feel like you want to do them and people want to join, you can use the VC. It's open for more. I've locked it so only 4 people can be in one at a time. So if you set up a team of 4, 4 of you are in there and nobody can come in and distract you. That's kind of important, I think. See, I'm leaning towards just getting Poochyena, just so I have a second dark type. It's the only reason, and this will be the thing I'll probably sacrifice if we're going to lose. We don't want to use a nest ball, we'll just throw this at it. Is it going to stay? No, okay. Okay, we have to do the whittling down, of course. I should have actually bought some more balls. Because we've also said there's quite a lot of locations that we can do in this area once we do the battles, which is going to be kind of big. Nearly lost an encounter. There we go. And what was the other names of these? I can't remember. What was the other hyena called? Gotta be. Actually, it doesn't matter. Yes, it almost died. The first time I actually got a crit when I didn't want one. It was Benzie, wasn't it? And where were the names? I forgot what the names were. We had them all. I forgot. What were they? Where were they? Scrolling through the chat to find nicknames, which will be here soon. There we are. Banzai. There we go. That puts us with our 2 dark types. Actually, we probably want to put that in the team just for a couple of levels. Probably won't use it. Right, let's just put this team together. Right, oh, no, this one, you're coming in. Probably don't need you. Actually, we probably would like you. He has Yam, so that would be quite good for Yam, but it's annoying. We'll probably have to take you out, Whooper. To be honest, you're the least effective here. For the first battle, I actually want the Tink at the top. And as I don't really care about healing items, I will just quick heal. Right, let's go. Like, this shouldn't be difficult, to be honest. Like, she has a level 12 Poochyena with tackle and bite. I don't think it's going to do too much to my Tink. Then she will send out Vulpix, and actually I wanted my Houndour to gain a level or 2, because you're way too weak, sir. Let's just go and beat some bugs up. Wait, no, actually you're not good against bugs, are you? What have we got that you can go and beat up? Cutie-Fly, that's not going to be helpful. No, Ken, what are you like against a Yanma? Are you going to beat a Yanma? No, you take too much damage. Great. Silly What about... Oh, it's all the bug moves just going to kill it, aren't it? Right, that was not helpful. Is it? I don't know if it's a cash grab. I think generally most of the consoles are going to be helpful with the newer versions. I think it's only going to have... What is it? Level 12. It's going to have quick attack. But there's not many games being upgraded, is there, from what I remember? Like, I'm pretty sure Zelda was free. Most games aren't £90 though, they're 65. Mario Kart is a little bit more, but Mario Kart will last the whole of the life cycle of the Switch. That's the thing you've got to remember. It's not like every game's going to be £90. Most of them are going to be about 65. Like, they all make sense, like, they're all good. But when you look at sort of like PS5 games and whatever the Xbox is called nowadays, they're all going to be 70 odd pound nowadays. £90 is a big... I haven't seen a single game that's £90 on the Switch 2. The most expensive is the Mario Kart, which is 72 or 73. But if you buy the bundle, it costs 30 quid. So if you're going to buy it, you're going to buy it with the bundle. You're not going to buy it separately at the end of the day. I don't think your starter defines what egg you will get. Because I said I did a Soul Link, so we all had a different starter, but we got two of the same. So there is that. Which we were seeing with, we were hoping it would be tied to the egg when we were doing it, so we could have an extra starter type, but we got two grass, I think. I think most of gaming goes down to what you game, really. Like, I don't really go much past like the basics of like a Pokemon game or a Mario Kart. But then with the new Mario Kart, it would be worth trying to play that with others. And I'm not going to upgrade my Jamboree because I don't play the games enough. I don't want to do the stuff that comes with all the camera nonsense. I think that lots. I think all the attachments are a rip-off. I will 100% agree with that. If you want to sell me on, you can have a camera in the game, you should give me the camera for free, or a cheap version of the camera for free. That's the way I would look at it. But when it comes to the other stuff, like, at the end of the day, it is like £100 more for an upgrade to your Switch, pretty much. But the other side of it is they seem to be moving away from the handheld version of the game, from what I can see. Yeah, we should survive one more bite. That's good. And it's not quicker than me, so that's fine. Easy. That one's done. Now, we know it will go to Vulpix. What did we learn? We might teach that. What is it? Oh, it's just a normal move. Probably better than Astonish for now, but we'll get rid of this because we're not really a setup person. We don't need to worry too much about this one because we're not using this in the boss battle. So we got Vulpix. We said we wanted to go to this, but we're both not going to really hurt each other, so it's not much point. So we'll just go into this so we can bite. Because I can't use a fire move on it. We'll see whether we can get something good out of this. And we can then use this if it's still got good health in the final. Because all it's going to be able to do to me is quick attack. Her Pokemon is no good. It's got grass and ghost moves. As I say, I've got my guide here that I made. It has Mega Drain and Astonish, so I'm fine with this against her boss. Like, Mega Drain's barely going to touch me, is it? And Astonish is very weak. Oh great, now you've made it difficult, haven't you? I thought it would be easier than that. Right. You know what, you're not going to use a fire move, I don't think, so we'll risk this. So the other side of... Okay, a crit, that's going to kill me. That's not good. We'll go back to this then. The other side of the Switch 2 debate is I probably won't play the other games that are coming out on the Switch 2, so I don't really know why I went out my way to buy it. At the end of the day, I'm just going to play it a little bit here and there. Probably get upgraded graphics for this. And that's pretty much it. I have lost a bit too much health for my own liking here. But as I say, I don't think we're under too much threat from this. I could Terra and get extra power on my grass or my fire move, couldn't I, as well? Might as well. I know I'm only fire type, so whatever, it's not going to change too much. But the other side of my Switch thing is, because I want to do that ridiculous Living Shiny Dex challenge, I think it only really works if I do it all on the Switch 2. You are very annoying. I was meant to do no items, but I don't know how strict to be for no items. We'll risk one more, yeah. We knew. Can't do too much to me. This will probably knock it out. Right, yeah. That's why we picked the fire type. Now, we picked the fire type because we didn't think we would get too many fire types. The only thing I'm going to be very strict with my free cocoa is I'm not going to let it go over level 16. Well, it can be level 16 in case I need it for the cloth battle. It can go over level 15, it doesn't matter. It's not being used in the boss battle. See, one of the more difficult things with this challenge is actually getting everybody up to the right level. I think that's going to be the more challenging side, because it's going to be a lot of just going through all of the grinding up, and I want to try and make sure this whole series is a stream series only. I don't want to do all the other stuff. I know I've got to beat Kieran, and then I'm going to get my egg. Then we will go and do the Terror Raid and prepare for Katie, but we're not going to do the Katie fight. That'll be the start of the next one. And the only thing I'm going to do between stream is put together the visual so you can see all of our Pokemon, see how many we've got saved up, who's available, who we can use, and I don't think I'm going to do any more encounters in this area, because if I do too many in this area, I'm gonna I could cross over typings. If I get something I've really got to target, I could find something really good. So that's going to be the plan. For anything that goes on in this side of the game, I'm not worried if I'm over leveled. It's going to be as simple as that. I'm not playing this side of the game locked. It could be a case of I will not do the story until much later in the game. No, you will get that. Did you try to catch them? As such, you will not lose. No legendary will not be catchable in a game in these games. If you miss it, it will return. 100%. Right, I want to do the Kieran battle. It's only got Scratch and Quick Attack, so I could probably leave Tink out. Got to be careful with the Yanma. Probably keep the same team I got. Right, now we have to go in here. I think the rest of the squad turns up. So basically, if you knock them out, I think it's either reset the game, it'll load back up and they'll be there, or they'll come back when you go to the other map. Did you beat them as in the storyline beat them? Because you finished the whole game, so you have unlocked them to catch. Because you've finished the game, I'll just explain. If you don't finish Kitakami, you can't face the Carmine in the Blueberry. So you must have done the whole storyline. Yeah, so they reappear where you fought them as Titans. And that's how you can catch them. Just be very prepared, they're very difficult if you don't have the right squad. If you want to completely cheese it, go in with a poniard against the monkey. It can't touch you. The Pheasantipity is not too difficult to catch. It's got no moves. It's mainly swagger and flatter, so it's just going to confuse you. Yep, it's got those two and Beat Up, and it's the only Pokemon on the field, so it's got Roost. They're the annoying things. It's annoying Pheasantipity, but not difficult. The Okidori's the most difficult because it hits very hard, I found. But if you take a Steel Dark type in, Munkidori cannot touch you because it only has poison and psychic moves. It is very exhausting, trust me. But you can get hit with your Zangoose. I'm just saying, if you don't want, you will literally be immune from being damaged if you use a Poniard or that line. It will not hurt you at all. It cannot touch you, the Munkidori. It has Psychic and Sludge Wave. I think that's its main attacking moves. When you face it as a Titan, it has a Ghost move. But when you go to catch it, it has no physical attacking moves that can hit a Steel Dark type. You completely wall it. It's brilliant. And you don't really want to use Zangoose against Okidori because it's a fighting type and will probably one-shot you if it's close combat. It's very powerful. Breaking Bad is something I've never actually watched. It has never interested me, no matter how many times people say it's the best thing they've ever watched. I am not really a fan of any drug-based TV shows. Never have been. Never will be. So it's never really appealed to me. And everyone will say, you have to watch it, and I probably won't. Right, so we're going to do Kieran's battle, go and get our egg, and that'll probably... It probably is, like, as I say, everybody loves it. I think it also has a dark move. Okidori can be challenged, as I say, it's got all pretty much physical moves. So it's just a bit annoying, really, Okidori. Like a lot of TV shows I will just come back and watch eventually. Like Stranger Things is a perfect example. I don't think I watched till season 2. I sort of mentioned before that when it comes to TV shows, I get a little bit frustrated that it's pushed on you. to try and watch it in one go more than watch one episode and go and digest what you watched and enjoy it. And then, like, my example for this is always Lost. When you watch Lost, it was one episode a week. You would have to then be like, what's going to happen next? What's our Pokemon opinion on Boy from Belgium? It was a guy who steals all our shinies. Definitely took all our shinies. I had Boy from Belgium. I managed to get a Pangoro yesterday in a DA. Which I'm very happy with. I was doing some Landorus's solo and got a Pangoro. I was very happy with that. I know it's probably not the best thing to get in there, but... See, I think Lost was something from its time. Like, it gets the bad reputation because people didn't really like how it ended. But when you watched it fresh in the first episode, it sort of blows your mind at just what they were trying to do. So that's why I used Lost as an example. Like, that pilot episode was, I believe, the most watched thing on television ever at the time, like for a pilot show. So that's how big Lost was at the time, but it sort of fizzled out due to writer strikes that happened in the middle. So a lot of storylines got cut and trimmed. Some of the cast fell out. Oh, he's just a shiny thief, really. He steals all our shiny luck. He took Ho-Ho out of one off me, which was very annoying. I just expect the only thing he's good at breeding Zygardes for everyone else, because I think everybody who has got a Zygarde has generally got the Zygarde from Boy from Belgium. I think that's the best way to look at it. But at least he continuously goes back to the well for more shinies, which is very helpful for everyone else who wants shinies. He doesn't just give up if he has a bad day. He comes back and goes again. That is very important. So I don't think Kira is going to be too difficult with a fire type. Yeah, I think it was a bit of a... I saw him get the shiny Kingler, but he left it behind. That wasn't fun. But you know what it's like. Some people have more shiny luck. It's more about just being consistently returning to the well, rather than... Like, I'm someone who has stopped shiny hunting in the past because I got a bit bored. Yeah, it was on his Zygarde run, but he didn't take it. Yeah, I forgot we don't have the lazy mode in this game. I've been playing so much Sword and Shield. I'm so used to the dumbed down controls, if that makes sense. I like, that's one of the things I really hate on this game, is not having the what's it called? Like, you can use one stick to do all of it. I got 17, wasn't it, during the DA spells? I think I also got one egg, but I only did a couple of breeding, so not the best. That was a 400 DAs. As we said, we're going to swap into this. As we said, doesn't matter if this gets to level 16. It's not a problem. It may not even be needed for that battle. But we'll see. But yes, sorry, I can't. No, no. Just do what I tell you to. I don't know, because I think it was late into his stream, so I think it was after mine, because went in just to see what's going on, I think. So that would have been, what, 4.5, 5 hours into the stream. Okay, so if you flinch me, I'm not happy. Okay. As we say, we're going to go get this egg. And see what the starter we get is. There's not much help for the next gym, but we might as well get one. See what happens. And we have 2 dark types, that's what we're going to have to take in. Sadly. He'll want to go and do the photography stuff, which we won't be doing this episode or this session. Like, we generally will do about 3 hours, so we're coming up to the 3-hour mark now. And we can see how, as I say, I'll update the team. We might do the Terror Raid battle actually as well. We will see. It's risky because I'm going in. I can see what type we're going to face, I guess. That's something we can do. I'll try and hatch the egg in this town as well, so it's sort of counts as a different location if we want to be very particular. Now we'll probably do Perrin's quest at some point, but it's very late game. Now we get told about the other stuff to go to Blueberry, which we're not going to do because that would class as a death in the Nuzlocke. But it is button bashing mechanics. Just got to go through all this. Right, how is the health? Yeah, we got healed after that. No, wrong button. We want to put something in the box for this. We will probably just put Roy in there for now. Miss Magus. Okay. Where are you, Jacques? Let's get this egg. What do we reckon this egg will be? Who wants to have a wild guess at what egg we'll get from Jacques? Ed? But we don't know what type we're going to get. Do you reckon it's going to be Piplup, Torchic, not Torchic, Turtwig, or what is it? Chimchar. Chimchar will be a bit annoying, I think, because we went. We've done Pucciano, we named Banzai already. We already did that one. Gulpin. That could be our poison type, I guess. We've got 1. So the dream situation will be to have 3 of each typing for when it comes to the late game. And like the dream would be to go all the way to Terrakion, not Terrapagos. That would be the challenge. I don't know if we will. We'll sort that out. So we mentioned that we were going to do 1 Terror Raid per gym. Shall we say 1 Terror Raid in Kitakami and 1 in the location of the gym or badge? That makes sense? Or as close to it. Like, it would be nice to have quite a bulky amount of team members, wouldn't it, I think? But we'll hatch this egg now. We'll go back over here. We'll do it in the town. But we'll only do 1 per gym. Because otherwise we're just going to leave them all here. We can have a look. I think I have most online stuff. This one set up? Must be. Yes, because I have lots of kids on my account. I set up lots of separate accounts because I set up a family account. And because I set up a family account, I sort of just, it's easier just to make them all kids than set up a new email address. Dragon, do you want to come and help with some of these raids as well? I know you will get a little bit here and there. If you're still here, I don't know. I'm just going to try and hatch these eggs. I'm not going to do shiny hunting. That bit I'm going to be stricter with. If I find a shiny, it's a shiny that I'm going to keep and add to the list. But I'm not going to shiny hunt. That's what I'm trying to... If I want to do shiny... that's going to be next month's challenge. Otherwise, I'm just going to hatch this egg before I do anything else. Yeah, so that's my next challenge is, as we said, once the Switch 2 comes out, I'm going to try and do a full shiny living dex on new profiles. That's going to be the main goal for that challenge. But as if I go forward with that, because it could be very exhausting. Because I will have to play through 7 games from scratch. The only thing I'll be doing offline will be collecting eggs for the starters in this game and Fiona, and sort of cheating the system to get the shiny charm early. So just putting in my living dex from my other games just to get the Pokedexes complete. That will be all we do. So what do we think we're going to get? Grass, water, fire. Any predictions? I feel like we might get grass, if I'm honest. If we get fire, then we will not touch any more fire types for a while. That's the good thing for it. Okay, so we've got 1 fire, 1 grass. I think grass, so it will probably be the water one, won't it? Let's see, what do we get? And we get Chimchar, of course. So, what's the monkey in The Lion King called? Oh. I forgot what it's called. Well, it works both ways, because that is another fighting type. There we go, Rafiki. We can change it if it's spelled slightly wrong. It's not too much of a problem. Right, so... right, we said we would do 1 terror raid in this area, so I'm going to pick the one... it says I'm down here first. Wait, where? There isn't one in that area. That's... oh, there's one. We're going to do this one. I know it doesn't really matter what the type is. We're not going to treat it as that type. So it's going to be a fighting type, but it'll only be like level 12. I will do the rest of the encounters next time. So we'll have 3 people in this one, so that'll be good. I'll just bring something with protect. I should be able to beat whatever's here, really. There shouldn't be any problems. I've done these in my Nuzlocke, so I'm relatively confident. Unless this is a dupe, of course. Then it is a problem. Oh, that's another Poochyena, isn't it? Yes, thank you for all the help. Can we get up here? Are we going to have to do reverse jumping? Of course we are. Okay. Nope, we can't do it. I've got to go round, haven't I? Well, that's annoying. I've got to go right round. Just to get to here. Let's try that again. Yep, I couldn't jump up there, so I've got to go round to fall onto it. I'm going to be a bit more stricter that we're going to sort of go through it stage by stage more than a rush to like the furthest one away, because this will be our Kitakami Road one. So we're going to do 2 of these and then we'll go and sit outside of Katie's gym. So I could have come here for it. Better not touch the gold people because they will destroy me. Pretty sure they don't level scale. I won't. I won't have anything that will survive. I don't think it's worth risking something either, because even if I catch it, I can't really use it because I'm being strict with level caps. If it was something, okay. Way to go, Scarlet Violet. Because I think it'll be quite difficult even for the best like Pokemon or such. That one, I've done enough my own to know 7 stars are not easy. Right, well, what do we have? We have a Swablu, so this will be okay. Challenge as a group. Does this give me a code? Yes. So the code is on the screen. That is a 5 and an S, just to be awkward. I should have probably... What is it? It's a fighting type. Yeah, it would be fun. Oh, yeah, I am just changing my Pokemon. I was going to just take this. We have an Incineroar. And there we go. So we'll just go in with this. I'm taking this just because it won't get hurt by any of the moves it has. That's pretty much it. It is going to be like level 12. So it's only 1 star. But are we going to keep up the Disney names and look for a Bug's Life character name for this? We can just start this. I know, it's a difficult raid. But it's safety in numbers, right? I should just put protect on everything. Do you reckon I will even get a shot in on it? That's the question. I know. We are a bit over. I didn't even get a shot yet. Didn't expect to. At least we got to see the shiny Seviper. Next thing I should really do is actually get some Pokeballs that are interesting. That fits nicely, it can go in a nest ball. What shall we call this one? It was harder to set that up than actually do the battle, wasn't it? Woolly, okay. Leafy or Woolly? The vote's open. Leafy or Woolly? You can vote in the chat which one you prefer. Wolfie. Wolfie. And then we'll go and do the one that is near Katie's gym, and that will be it for today. Now, I'm not sure. I think this was actually a lot more fun than I was expecting it to be honest. So we might just carry on this tomorrow. Put the DAs on hold for a little while. Oh, why did they put a space in there? Leafy. We're not going in the 20. you're not any help anyway. So we sort of, I don't know if ironically heard, but the idea was we're going to allow one raid from Kitakami per badge and one raid in the area of what we're facing, basically, of the next boss. If it turns out too OP, then we won't bother. Yes. But as we said, we'll do this one raid and then we're going to finish off for today. Where was it? I was going to just do this one. The dragon raid. Why not? Again, my rule is simple. The first one I make contact with is the one I have to do. Unless it's a dupe. It's a Wingull. Okay. So this one is up as well. No worries, there's no rush. Yes, that can get very annoying with the number of eggs you've done, to be honest. The only other thing I need to really spend a bit of time for is to fill in this tracker at the bottom, so you can actually all see what we've got. It's difficult to do it while you go along on the stream, especially when you're just doing catch. After this, like, the first thing we're going to do tomorrow is start that Katie battle. Now the question is, do I keep the two dark types for the trainers only? That's the question. For the silly little olive game, I might as well do a couple more just to keep us going. But I can keep some stuff I just need to level up in the squad. Because otherwise I'm going to have to spend a bit of each stream just leveling up. Now we still have South Area 3, which is going to be nice and low level. We've got a bit of Kitakami we didn't touch deliberately just in case there's a type we need that we don't have. So that's a big plus for us. But no rush, as we say. I think there's a Hoppip waiting to ambush me. But then the plus thing from doing these raids is we will get some candy as well. Like tomorrow, if we do this again tomorrow, we start with Katie. We beat Katie, and then we can go straight into a raid for Cloth, which will be helpful because then that will be 2 encounters in that area. Then we will have one for... We can go and do a Kitakami raid straight away and do our encounters because we will know our typing as well that we need to beat Cloth with. There are a few nightmare factors to what we're going to have to use, I'm not going to lie. If it turns up and it's Bug, that will be very scary. Very scary. I don't quite know how I will pull off that one. But there are ways, or flying. It's not too bad now I've got a dragon type Wingull. But that's what this challenge is for, just to really test my typing abilities. The shiny Incineroar. All the shinies are guarding the tiny troll. Do you know how long it took me to get a shiny Litten? Yeah, it took about 8 sandwiches. That's another easy one. I should make sure we get some more balls though. That is crucial. Now, they're not meant to be very tasty. I think they said that they make the cartridges deliberately taste horrible so people don't eat them. Right, so that is the TypeLocke part 1. What should we call the Wingull? Zazu? Right. That is Zazu. We're going to go and see somebody who's different to normal. Actually, shall we go and see somebody doing DAs? Do you want to go and see someone doing DAs? No, we've gone to see them before, so we know they're alright. Yeah, or are they not doing open ones? But if you stay this end for the raid, you get some more channel points. It's that or somebody doing... okay, so that seems fair. So we'll just do our little roundup here, because like we say. So we can now look at our full team selection. So this is everybody we have. That we're not going to catch anyone else before the next gym. You have to go to the top because you are important, and so are you. So we have a Houndour, Puchiana, Pormy, Tinkertunt, an Igglybuff, a Chimchar, a Frikoko, a Lechonk Wooper, a Swablu, and no, a Swallow. I can't remember what that's called, and a Wingull. So I think we've done pretty well. I think it's been a lot of fun. I think we might just continue this tomorrow, if I'm honest. So hopefully I will see you all tomorrow for some more.